Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. This is a continuation of lesson 10.5 trigonometric equations, solving trigonometric equations. Again, you need your unit circle, your Algebra 2 book, and a pen and a paper. Solve each equation for all values if theta, for all values of theta, if theta is measured in degrees. So they want again every possible answer, not just one unit circle and not only one round, and they want the answers in degrees. Okay, so cosine 2 theta would give me a double angle identity, which is I would prefer going to 1 minus 2 sine squared theta because I can see a sine squared theta over here. So I go to 1 minus 2 sine squared theta minus sine squared theta plus 2 equals to 0. Again, it's an equation and we have to find theta. I would send this and this to the other side and make them positive. So 3 sine squared theta equals to 3 sine squared theta equals to 1 sine theta equals to positive or negative. The root of 1 is 1, right? So when is it positive or negative? 1 up and down, right? Sine is equal to 1 over here and sine is equal to negative 1 over here. So 90 over here, I would not say 90 plus 2 pi to n pi and 270 plus 2 n pi. I can say 90 plus n pi and then plus n pi plus n pi plus n pi, and that's it. Okay, because it repeats itself for the answers that I want at every 90 degrees. So it's easier over here to say that theta is equal to 90 degrees plus n times 180 degrees, or 180 n. Preferably we write the numbers first, I don't know, and here is the answer because they want it in degrees, right? This one, I think you should be thinking of taking greatest common factor. I'm gonna take sine theta as a common factor. This will be sine theta and this will be minus 1 equals to 0. Either this equals to 0 or that, so either sine theta equals to 0 or either sine theta equals to 1. Okay? Sine theta is equal to 0 at 0 plus n pi. Oh, they wanted the answer in degrees. So 0 plus 180 degrees, and okay, sine theta is equal to 0 over here plus 180 plus 180. Okay, every 180 I'm gonna see a sign as 0, and the other one, sine theta is equal to 1. Sine theta is equal to 1 only here. There's no other sine theta equals to 1, so I'm gonna say 90 degrees plus 360 because this is the only possible answer. Here is negative 1. So I'm gonna write this one as degrees 90 degrees plus 360 degrees n. N, as we said, is any positive or negative number. So I have 3 solutions for this question. Fine? Fine. So for this one, 2 sine squared theta minus 1 equals to 0 is an easy one. I'll just kick this out and take the division in one step. So sine squared theta is equal to half. So sine theta is equal to plus or minus root of 1 over 2. So sine theta is equal to plus or minus 1 over root of 2. Rationalize. So when is sine theta equal to plus or minus root of 2 over 2? When every quarter, right? Every quarter. So how will I express that? I can just say all the quarters are plus or minus root of 2 over 2. So as we did in the previous video, I can just say it is at 45 degrees plus 90 n. And the 45 plus 90 and 35 plus 90 225 plus 90 315 plus 90 will be the next number. Okay, and so on. So I can just write the answer as one answer, which is theta is equal to 45 degrees plus 90 degrees n, as many times as they want from the n. And this is the answer. Question number 18 says cosine theta. Okay, I think also for this question, I would take cosine theta as a common factor. That's 1 minus 2 sine theta equals to 0. Either cosine theta equals to 0. I cannot do the zero product property if this is not 0. okay? And 1 minus 2 sine theta equals to 0. So this one will, cosine theta is equal to 0, I can evaluate it. This one would be 1, negative 2 equals to negative 1, or sine theta equals to half when, okay, when is cosine theta equal to 0? Over here, cosine theta up and down is equal to 0 here and here. So every 90, so I can say 90 plus 100, sorry, every 180. So 90 plus 180n. So for this one, it's 90 degrees plus 180 degrees n. Yep. Okay. For this one, when is sine equal to half? Sine is here and here positive. So at 60 and at not at 60, sorry, half at 30 and at 150. 30 and 150. So I would just say theta is equal to 60. Oh, sorry, we said 30 degrees. I'm insisting on 60 plus 360n, and theta is equal to 150 degrees plus 360 degrees n. Okay, so this is one possible answer, and this is also, so I have 3 possible answers in total. Again, greatest common factor. So I would take tan theta as a common factor, and here it's a simple question. Minus 1 equals to 0. Either tan theta is equal to 0 when either sine theta is equal to 1. Sine theta is equal to 1, we've said it many times now, so it's 90. This theta is 90 plus 360n. Okay? When is tan theta? Tan again is sine over cosine. Sine over cosine. It will equal to 0 over here and here, because tan over here is undefined. Oh, it's y over x. 0 over 1 is 0, and here 0 over negative 1 is 0. So I can say 0 plus 180 and صح, because the answer comes every 180. So I can just say that this is 0. Theta is equal to 0 plus 180 n, and that's it. So I have 2 solutions. Again, you can substitute and check your answers. Okay, this part says also solve each equation without mentioning any interval where theta is there. So it's endless. I should get all the possible thetas in the world. Okay, for this question I have double angle identity over here, and it was sine 2 theta equals 2 sine theta cosine theta, but actually I have 2 of them. I have sine 2 theta and sine 2 theta. Okay, if you can think of it directly that it will be 4 sine squared theta cosine squared theta, fine. If you cannot think this way, okay, let's split it into sine 2 theta times sine 2 theta. No problem with that, okay? This is sine squared theta. I need 2 of them. So this one will end up in 2 sine theta cosine theta, and this one will end up in 2 sine theta cosine theta. صح؟ صح. Plus cosine squared theta equals to 0. If you multiply these, you will end up in 4 sine squared theta cosine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals to 0. Here I can take cosine squared theta as a common factor. I will end up in 4 sine squared theta, and what's left from here is only a plus 1 equals to 0. One possible answer is that cosine squared theta is equal to 0, which means cosine theta equals to 0. And this happens up and down, so pi over 2 plus n pi. Theta is equal to pi. I'm going to give the answers in radians since they didn't mention. Pi over 2 plus n pi. And for this piece, I can say 4 sine squared theta equals to -1. So sine squared theta equals to -1 over 4. I'm stopping because it's imaginary anyways. So that's impossible. I cannot root a -1 over 4, and I don't have imaginary answers over here. Okay, this is regarding question number 22. Question number 23. I think factoring is clear over here, right? So I would do tan theta plus 1 and tan theta plus 1 equals to 0. Here I would get 1, and here are 2 tan theta. So I have no option but tan theta equals to negative 1. And when is tan theta equal to negative 1? When the x and y are opposite signs. هنا اللي هما equal but opposite signs. Over here at 3 pi over 4, 1 is negative root of 2 over 2 and 1 is root of 2 over 2. Over here and after 180 over there. So I can write the answer as 3 pi over 4 plus n pi's, right? N pi is not 2 n pi because it will repeat itself every pi. So I would say theta is equal to 3 pi over 4 plus n pi. Where's my red pen? Okay. And this is the answer. Over here I think it's factoring. صح? صح. So cosine squared theta plus 3 cosine theta plus 2 is equal to 0. I will split this into cosine theta, and plus, so everybody is plus, and this is 2 and this is 1, wherever I put them. One option is that cosine theta is equal to negative 2. Did I ever have cosine theta equal to negative 2? I had a maximum of 1 and a minimum of 1, and this is impossible to get a theta where cosine theta is equal to negative 2. But this one is cosine theta equals to negative 1 and cosine theta is equal to negative 1 at pi, okay, at pi on the left side. So theta is equal to pi, and only on the left side it's equal to negative 1. I hope you still remember the unit circle. Okay, regarding this question, I would change this to 2 double angle identity, 2 sine theta cosine theta minus cosine theta equals to 0. And I think the coming step is greatest common factor, which is cosine theta. Here it will be 2 sine theta minus 1 equals to 0. Either cosine theta equals to 0 or 2 sine theta equals to 1. Which means sine theta equals to half. Again, when is cosine equal to 0? Up and down, up and down. So theta is equal to pi over 2 plus n pi. And then 90 وعندي 270. And when is sine equal to half? في واحد في quadrant 1 واحد في quadrant 2. This one theta is equal to pi over 6 plus 2n pi, وفي عند ال 5 pi over 6 plus 2n pi. And I have 3 solutions. If you want to substitute these and check in the original equation, make sure your calculator is on radians, because if it's on degrees it will not work. Regarding question number 26, they directly said when is tan theta equal to 1, and tan theta is equal to 1 in over tan theta is positive actually here and here only. And tan theta is equal to 1 at pi over 4 and 5 pi over 4, because both are negative here and equal, both are positive here, the x and the y I mean. So how will I write that? I would just write pi over 4 plus n pi would drag me here, another n pi would drag me there, and so on. So this one is direct. Theta is equal to pi over 4 plus n pi. If you're still in love with degrees, so it's 45 degrees plus 90 degrees n. And please stop loving degrees. So what about this one? Looks like I can use, it's similar to one of the homeworks you did. Anyways, I can use a double angle identity, but I think I need to change the question to cosine 2. It was a verifying question, if you remember it, number 10.